Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the show. In the last episode, we talked about how devastating it is when a cheating, adulterous spouse blame their spouse for their adultery. And in this episode, I am going to talk to the victim of adultery. I want to give you 8 key strategies for healing from the betrayal and healing from being blamed for it. And that's what's coming up next, right here on Not Easily Broken. Let's have this conversation. Hello again, and welcome back to the show. I am Dorian, and this is Not Easily Broken. If you are new, welcome. And on the show, we help to guide couples who are in broken and dysfunctional marriage to healthy and fulfilled one through spiritual and personal growth aligned with the Word of God. Now, the first thing that you need to do if you want to heal from adultery, if you want to get through that process and get to a better place, the number one thing that you need to work on is restore your reality. You have to trust your instinct and your memories. It's not an illusion. It did happen to you. They didn't make this up. They hurt you. You're not making this pain up. It's your reality. And it's one of the reasons why it is important for you to keep a journal to combat the gaslighting. Keep a journal to make sure that their lies and their manipulation is recorded. Because some of them don't want to take ownership for what they did, and they are going to gaslight you, and gaslighting is dangerous. And because of your emotional state, you are not stable in your emotion, in your feelings, in your cognitive reasoning and understanding, you're going to be taken advantage of. Because if they're blaming you for it, then they cannot be trusted for almost anything until they're ready to take ownership. So you need to validate your feelings. They are normal reaction to abnormal circumstances and situation. So you got to validate what you're feeling. Validate the reality of what's happening to you. Remember, their choice reflects on them, not you. Stop taking responsibility and blame for something that they did. It is critical to your healing process and for you to get to a better place. And my friend, do us a favor. If you're watching this video or if you're listening, please give it a like. Please subscribe. Please like and share. It's the best way that you can show your support for this podcast, for this show. We really want to show our appreciation to you. And if you can show your appreciation to us, it would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you again for your support. Let's continue. Point number 2. Establish safety first. You have to protect yourself. Your spouse is not first priority in your life anymore. You are. Your relationship, your healing process, your relationship with God is. The marriage can't be number one when they're not taking responsibility for what they did. And even if they were taking responsibility for it, you have to understand that the marriage like you used to, like you remembered it, it's gone forever. It is important that it's not the same. It is not. But you can build something better if they really want to take ownership and ready to do the work. So you have to create emotional boundaries to protect yourself. I believe that sometimes it's important for you to limit discussion about the affair to therapeutic settings only. Again, the person who hurt you cannot heal you. I'm going to say it again. The person who hurt you cannot heal you. If they don't want to take responsibility or they don't want to seek professional help or talk about the affair or the adultery, because it's really adultery as the Bible calls it, they don't want to be in a professional setting, it's not healthy for you. It's absolutely not healthy. And so you have to develop self-care. Care for yourself. Have a self-care routine. Take care of yourself. Don't let no cheating spouse make you feel unattractive. And some of them lie to you and tell you that, oh, you know what? You're not attractive to me anymore, or I'm not attracted to you sexually. Oh, that's a lie. Sometimes the woman that they cheat with ain't attractive more than you. Sometimes the man that they cheat with is not better looking than you. Exercise. Build a support network of trusted friends, family, and counselor. You need to be in an environment where you feel secure, you feel like you can thrive, you can flourish, and you can feel better about yourself. And in some cases, if it becomes abusive, you must consider physical separation. If shifting the blame continues, you don't need to be in that space. You can't. If he's not taking responsibility for what he did to you, or she's not taking responsibility for what she did, then that environment is toxic for you. Now, I'm not telling you to leave your spouse. I'm not telling you to get a divorce, because I've seen where when ownership is taken, responsibility is taken, we have seen how people can build a better marriage than the one that they had before, because you ain't starting over, my friend. You better be ready to build a better relationship. You need space in order to heal. And if they are serious about fighting for the marriage, they will do the right thing. Number 3, surrender your marriage to God. Give it to God. It was not yours to build in the first place. God is the author of marriage, and he knows more about marriage than anyone, and you got to surrender it to God. You got to give it to God. You must yield your marriage to the one who created it. Talk to me. God wants to heal your wounded soul. The Bible tells us that God restoreth our soul. David said it. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. You have to surrender to God, yield your marriage to God, build your relationship with God, make God the center and the focus of your life. Because what man cannot do, God can do it. The healing that you're looking for, you cannot find it in a flawed human being. You're going to find it in God. God tells Joshua in Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8 that, listen, you want to meditate on my word. Joshua, I need you to focus on my word. Don't depart from it. Meditate upon it night and day. And when you do, you're going to make your way great, and you are going to have good success. So if you're going through marital challenges and you're frustrated in your marriage, yield it to God. Give it to him. It's not yours to build. It's yours to partner with God in the healing and restoration. Don't frustrate yourself. Give God the problem and let him lead the way. Jesus reminds us that we must come to him, all ye that are weary and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. There's rest for the weary. There's rest for your soul. Number 4, the person who hurt you can't heal you. I talked about that a little bit earlier, right? They can't heal you. They're not professional. They're the one that caused your trauma, especially when they don't take responsibility and ownership for what they did. I said it in the first video. It's like stabbing you and blame you for bleeding. You need professional help. Someone that can hold you and help to guide you and navigate you through all the different pain and trauma and psychological imbalance and problems that you might be dealing with. And if they are telling you to move on and forget about it just because they apologize to you, now you know exactly where you stand in this relationship. They can't help you. They can't. They can't. Number 5, process the trauma. You have to process what happened to you. Allow yourself to feel without judgment. Yes, feel the pain. Feel the anger. Feel the frustration. Feel the resentment. Feel the hatred, but don't stay there. Because if you hold it inside of you, you're not going to heal. So you have to process your feelings. And the way to do this is by working with someone who is trained or have the knowledge of trauma in the area of adultery. You know, you must also name your emotions specifically. If you're angry, write it. Resentful, yeah. You're crying, not able to sleep. All these things happen to you. But you have got to record them. You have to process it. Recognize that trauma response are anxiety, it is flashbacks, it is panic attack, it is insomnia. All kind of things happen when you go through trauma. So you have got to record your feelings, your emotions, so that you can talk about it with a trained professional who can help guide you through this process. I don't care how much they love upon you. I don't care how much great sex they want to make with you now and act like you're the best thing they had since sliced bread. They should have known that before they cheated. Now you have to protect your mental state, your emotional state, until you know for sure that they are at a place where they're taking ownership, they're doing what they need to do. You must put yourself first. Yes, you must. And you must use grounding techniques when you are triggered. And it's also required that you consider trauma-specific therapy, EMDR. One of those things, it is considered the eye movement, desensitization, and processing. It is actually a psychotherapy technique that helps people process trauma, memory, and other distressing experiences. Did you get that? And what it is, it's a structured therapy that involves moving the eyes in a specific way while focusing on the trauma memories. The goal is to change how the memory is stored in the brain, which can reduce or eliminate the problematic symptoms that you're dealing with. Now, I'm not a trained clinician, so I'm not able to walk you through that process, but I've read about it. I've talked to people who have experience working with someone in these areas. Okay. And number six, reclaim your voice. You must reclaim your voice. Practice expressing your needs clearly. Don't let them censor you. Don't let them tell you that you need to get over it. No, that's not the time for it. You need to set firm boundaries around blame shifting. The moment they start to blame you for it, that's it. End the conversation. There's nothing more to talk about. You don't want to have anything to do with anyone that don't want to take ownership for what they did. And use the I statement to express the impact. I feel vulnerable. I feel like you've ruined my life. I feel like I don't know if I can love you again. I feel that I cannot trust you again. I feel that you are the person that I want to stay away from. I feel that even though I'm praying to God for healing, I don't know where I go from here. Remember, you have the right to your feelings, okay? Number seven, rebuild your self-worth. Challenge negative self-talk. Stop blaming yourself and telling yourself that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, they are better than you. Maybe that woman is a better lover than you are. It's not even the case. Or that man is better than you while your wife did it. No, no. You have to rebuild yourself because if you don't get better, nothing around you will. Challenge your negative talk because you are going to have some negative things to say. Oh, maybe I deserve it. Maybe it's my fault. All kind of thoughts. You got to be conscious of the thoughts that the enemy is putting into your mind. List your strength and your accomplishments. So if you start to work out and go back to the gym or you're taking therapy, maybe you're part of a group that is walking you through the process, take note of it. Make a list of it. If you feel better today, write it down. Give yourself a pat on the back. Engage also in activities that bring joy and comfort to your soul. Don't stay home and play the pity party, the kumbaya, pity on me song and dance. No. Get out there. Do something. Feel good about you. Reconnect with your personal values. What about the things that you used to like that you stopped doing? Maybe you used to like sports or you used to exercise or you go to the gym, you hang out with your friends. Infidelity allow you to just void yourself, erase yourself from the true essence of who you are. And it puts you in a space where you don't want to do anything. Some of you are stressed out. Focus on what you can control. And then you need to control it. Hello? Number 8, make meaning. Yes, make meaning. Journal about your growth. We are big on self-growth on here. Growth is the separator. Growth is the difference maker. Growth is what you need to focus on. Growing yourself, healing from the pain and the scars, becoming a better version of you is your responsibility. Identify lessons learned in this whole process and don't make those mistakes again. Connect with others who understand where you're coming from, where you're going. People who are not going to judge you, but going to love you. They're going to understand where you are, understand what you're dealing with. You need that around you. Yes, you do. Consider ways your experience might help others. Sometimes the best remedy and the best healing is by expressing what you've been through to someone else who's going through what you're going through. The Bible tells us that iron sharpeneth iron and the countenance of one brightens another. And so if you're going through situations like this and you talk to somebody about it, you might just help them to get better. And then here's another thing you need to do. You need to focus on the vision for your future. Oh, yes. You still have a future bright ahead of you. Whether your marriage recover from this or not, the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep living? Are you going to keep going? Are you going to keep growing? Are you going to make sure that you understand that your best days are still ahead of you? This might meant to kill you, but God is going to use this and turn it around for the good. So you need to focus on the future, focus on the vision. Do yourself a favor and start recovering from this. But first, you need to take it slow. It's not something that you can rush. Take back your life from your cheating spouse. You have given them too much control over your life. I think you forget that you are just sharing your life with them, but they're not the owner of your life. So take back your life, put it in the hand of God. Take ownership of your happiness, ownership of your joy, your peace, and all of that comes from God. And that's what I want to share with you. I hope you're blessed by it. I hope that you understand that, listen, it's not your fault, but you got to heal. You have to get better. You have to grow and you have to become. And in the next video, I'm going to talk with the unfaithful partner and how they need to really take ownership of what they did so that their spouse can heal and get better. And that's it, my friend. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this episode. And I pray that you are continue to trust the Lord and believe in God for what he's about to do, what he's getting ready to do in your life. And if this is your story, if this is your situation, I pray that this strengthen you to focus on God, focus on yourself, focus on your healing. And if it's the Lord's will, in due season, he will restore your marriage. May God bless you. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Please like and share and watch this video about the blame game, about the spouse who blame their spouse for their cheating. This is going to help you if this has been your story. Thank you, and may God bless you. Any great.